Alright, y'all. Errol Spence Jr. versus Keith Thurman. Fact versus fiction. Who's really next? Alright, so news is coming out that Errol Spence Jr. will fight Keith one-time Thurman on December the 17th in Dallas, Texas. And I just wanted to touch on this real fast, give my 2 cents on what I think and if I believe that this information is true. I want to reference an article real fast that I found just a few minutes ago, and they are saying that they are claiming that this is already a go. I'm not sure if it's really true or not, but I want to give my take on the facts versus the fiction. So let me reference this article. Keith one-time Thurman will reportedly be challenging Errol Spence Jr. for his IBF, WBA, and WBC welterweight titles on December 17th at ATM Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Spence Thurman is a much better fight on paper than Terence Crawford's December 10th fight against David Anese. Unlike Anese, Thurman has world championship credentials, and he's proven Thurman should make it compelling, building interest with his interviews and trash talk. So according to, this is coming from Boxing News 24/7, the fight is on. They've already decided that Keith Thurman is up next. The WBC has already made him the appointed mandatory. But I'll say pump the brakes just a little bit. I don't know how true this is just yet, because I just read another article the other day saying that all the boxing councils are getting together and they are going to make a collective decision on who Errol Spence should be actually fighting next as the mandatory. The decision hasn't come fully down yet. But in interest of the news that's coming out now, I just wanted to reference that a little bit. If it's Keith Thurman, to me, it's because Keith Thurman is a easy in-house fight to make. It's not because Keith Thurman is going to sell better. You know, Keith Thurman did just fight Mario Barrios on pay-per-view, and I think it did okay. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I do think it did some okay numbers, maybe around 100,000, a little over 100,000 buys. But I would think that that was an easier fight to make for PBC. But since it wouldn't be a PBC ruling, like PBC is not who's putting this fight together, I can't be 100% sure that this news is 100% factual, but it is being reported by other boxing news publications, so take it for what it is. But to me, if it's one-time Thurman, it's a matter of the fight was easy to make. They're just trying to buy some time. They're not going to put Errol Spence into a situation to where they can't get that undisputed fight at the end of the day. And if it's not Keith one-time Thurman and it ends up being Jerron Boots Ennis, then I do believe that it's a matter of the sanctioning body stepping in and saying that the IBF is actually the belt that Errol Spence has held the longest, and that mandatory has been waiting the longest to get his shot. So the IBF would actually be going first, and Boots, as we all know, is number one in the IBF. So I'm not 100% set on that fight happening December 17th in Dallas, Texas, but there is a high percentage chance that it will be. Who would win that fight? Would it be Spence or Thurman? Listen, let me say this first. I'm not 100% sold because Errol Spence Jr. said just himself in the leaked interviews that he would never fight Keith Thurman. So I would actually think that Errol Spence is a man of his word, and if he says, hey, I'll never fight Keith Thurman, I would lean more to he would drop the titles and go to 154. And that's just my personal opinion, because I take him for what he says. You know, he might actually really want that Terence Crawford fight. So, hey, if I got to go through Thurman to get the Crawford fight, then I'm going to do what I got to do. But I'm one to take Errol Spence at his word. Keith Thurman did not give me my shot. Why would I give him a shot now that I'm a 3-time champion? It's like you almost waited for me to... It's almost like the same as the Terence Crawford situation. You waited for me to do all this work. Now you want to gain off of the work that I put in. It's like, no, you can't. You're not allowed to win like that. And I don't think Errol Spence is foolish enough to be taken advantage of in that type of way. So for Keith Thurman to be next, I'm just not sold on it yet. I'm not 100% sold on it based off what Errol Spence had to say. But who would win that fight at the end of the day? I think it would go like this. Listen, Thurman's a formidable opponent, but I think because Pacquiao was able to have such good success landing power shots on Keith Thurman, I don't think he would last very long with Errol Spence Jr. once Errol Spence started beating on his body. And there is no upside to a Thurman fight for Spence. Even though, you know, he wouldn't be making the decision to fight Keith Thurman, it would be the sanctioning bodies, according to what they're saying. But there is no upside because he doesn't mimic anything that Terence Crawford does, so it's not like a tune-up. It wouldn't be like him fighting Manny Pacquiao to where he could get used to fighting a southpaw in preparation for Terence Crawford switching back and forth or something of that nature. But, you know, a Keith Thurman fight does come with benefits. The PBC fans have always wanted to see it. They felt like, you know, that's a great rivalry. The in-house of PBC has been wanting to make that fight for a long time. Once again, they feel like it's a great rivalry, and they don't have to spend as much to make that fight happen. Keith Thurman wins. You know, at the end of the day, he wins, and it's an opportunity for Errol Spence to possibly get a knockout. That's why I mentioned Manny Pacquiao, because if Manny Pacquiao was able to floor Keith Thurman, I think once Errol Spence started working on the inside on Thurman and landing some of those big shots, letting off those combinations, I think he has a possibility of knocking Thurman out, you know, if not damaging him the same way that he damaged Udanius Ugaz in his last fight. Let me say this to end it off. A lot of people feel like me talking about Manny Pacquiao being back in the game is some type of cap, or he can't do it because he's old. Listen, everybody doubted Manny Pacquiao when he got knocked out. Everybody doubted Manny Pacquiao after the Jeff Horn fight. Everybody doubted Manny Pacquiao could beat Keith Thurman, and he conquered all of those situations. So if you want to doubt Manny Pacquiao, that's your choice. I know better. I know the man is capable of anything, and I'm going to believe in him as long as he believes in himself, and I hope he does make a return. It's your boy. Hit me up on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but you're more than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. And we are out of here.
It's your boy Keys, neighborhood employee. Niggas knew that I was coming with fire. Y'all ain't up to my pie and up under a car. Your head under a tie, it's the S and the I. Player, we supposed to win. I'm in the booth focusing with coke in hand. Dude hate it when you see the chief running in. Ass mouth hurting like his wisdom teeth coming in. Now that's a roundhouse kick. Come round your house, letting rounds out quick. From Newburgh to downtown, it's that Midwest to down south shit. Y'all ain't fucking with. She chillin', tryna put the veal on the mouth. What's good? She nothing, tryna show his niggas how to round.